At this point in our lives, we've been hit over the head with so many things. We've had failed relationships. There was just have been so many disappointments that build and fuel our insecurities. So let's talk about how insecurities affect a relationship, and how we can help manage that so we don't hurt our relationship.
Did you push record?
Thanks for joining us today on Our Second Act with Paige and Silka.
For your second act of life. Hey, Silka.
Hi, Paige. Paige, today I want to bring up something that so many people struggle with, especially the older we get when it comes to relationships and making those relationships work. Big topic, of course, here, and that is how our insecurities, how they can literally sabotage or destroy a relationship. And I wanted to have a conversation with that because, again, there's so much written on that, and it's, again, mostly directed to the younger set. Yet at this point in our lives, we've been hit over the head with so many things. We've had failed relationships, we have lost. There was just have been so many disappointments that build and fuel our insecurities. So let's talk about how insecurities affect a relationship, and how we can help manage that so we don't hurt our relationship.
Well, first you have to identify what are your insecurities. That's the first thing. You have to know, what are you insecure about? And it never ceases to amaze me that some people don't really know exactly what they're insecure about, even though it shows up in their life all the time. And sometimes I ask people, here's a really great way to figure out what your insecurities are. You might know a few of them that you can write down, but also ask people who you're close to, who you feel safe with, to say, hey, I'm working on myself right now, and I'm trying to figure out, what are my insecurities that keep showing up that block me from moving forward in relationships or anything in my life? And always tell the people who you're asking, look, this is fragile. So if you could say it to me in a very loving, gentle kind of way, then I can take it better. That's another way to find out if you're not sure what all of your insecurities are, to see, because people around us see all of the insecurities that keep popping up, that maybe they don't share.
Yeah. Well, and one thing, that I've read and heard about insecurities too, it's we blame or we think that our partner did something. When it's really, nothing's happened. I mean, it's almost like insecurities, my understanding is, and it made a lot of sense, are based in non-factual things. It kind of goes back to the segment, we'll link to the segment we just did on negative thoughts, the quieting negative thinking. But we create things that haven't happened because of something in our past or some, well, like I said, a trigger point. Talk to me about that, how that works.
Well, once you know what your insecurities are and you're in a relationship, it's really important that you bring it up. It's really important that you talk about, hey, I'm really insecure about this, or I'm really insecure about that. So your significant other realizes that this is a fragile space, that you realize that you're insecure there, that maybe it's getting in the way and you're working on it. And the reason you do that is you want to tell your significant other, don't poke the bear. If you know what my insecurity is, don't poke it and use it as a trigger point that sets me off, because all that does is shut down vulnerability, and it shuts down intimacy of getting close with another person. So if both people can talk about what their insecurities are within the relationship and kind of, have a containment around each other about, okay, I'm going to make sure that I don't poke the bear of your insecurity. And if it comes up, you kind of talk about, okay, what's a word or two that you could say that, the insecurity is coming up. I think it's getting in the way. Because when the insecurity comes up, you're right, Silka. It's not so much about what the other person is doing. It's what's going on within you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and some specific things, especially, when it comes to starting over and starting new relationships, when you just believe that you're really not good enough to maybe keep that person or hold on that person. Or of course he's always going to be interested in somebody else. Or, you know, if he's late, then he must be out doing something else. And then of course that starts, you know, the whole process, that negative thinking going. And ultimately you're creating something that doesn't exist. That's never happened.
Right. And if it's that's when you really have to look at what's your theme? How far back did it start in your life? Because if you're not good enough or you don't feel like you're worthy enough, that didn't start with this partner right now. That started a long time ago. So if that keeps coming up in a relationship, you need to start really working on it with a professional to help you figure out, where did it start? Why did it start? Why is it still happening? And what can I do about it? And do I want to change it? Big pieces to think about.
That's interesting that you asked if you want to change it, and the answer should be so obvious. Of course I want to change it, but it's not, is it?
Oh, let me say one thing that I find always interesting. I always ask my clients and patients, on a scale of 100%, don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Don't say out loud what you should say. What's the percentage of that negative thought or insecurity? What's the percentage that you will change in this moment? Rarely, and I mean rarely, do I find anybody the first time around that says 100%, because there's something in that insecurity that is fulfilling or being fulfilled within you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Paige, I'm certainly part of our viewing audience that I realize that I have a lot of insecurities. And I don't know why, because I'm a self-confident woman, yet again, it's that negative self-talk. And I'm going, where is this coming from? I get more aware of it because we do these segments. I'm blessed to talk to people like you all the time and all other kind of experts who have brought this to my attention. But if I'm listening now and you realize, yes, what can I do? Is there something I can do to stop it today? Maybe not completely, but how do we change that pattern?
No, you can't just stop it today. Like I said earlier, at this point in your life, it's been imprinted. It's been like, it's in you. So you can say to yourself, I would like to stop continuing this pattern today.
Right.
What do I have to do the work to continue the pattern today? There's no quick fixes, quick pill in this world. And if you think that there is, you're wrong. So it comes down to, do you want to do the work or do you not want to do the work? And here's the thing. If you don't want to do the work, then own it. Own the fact that you don't want to do the work, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But if you do want to do the work, decide today that, you know what? I want to make a change today. And the change I make today is to decide to commit and work on this piece.
Yeah. No, well said. And I guess what I, just want to leave people with again is we raise awareness of on these negative things that just bug us, is that we all feel insecure. All of us do. Mm-hmm. Be aware of it. And just don't let it take over and sabotage something great because of what's happened in the past. And again, at this time in life, a lot has happened. So, we get it. We get it. Anything else you want to say, Paige, in closing?
Just that, it lies within you. Either you want to do it or you don't. What I like to say to people is shit or get off the pot.
And on that note, we'll see you on our next segment of Our Second Act with Paige and Silka.
For your second act of life. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. The button is right over here. Just click on through to YouTube. And when you see the little bell right next to the subscribe button, hit that too. We'll notify you every time we launch a new video. See you next time.